For me, I feel great about anything that we put out there. You know, my job is to put the best for athletes to go and put us in the finals. I'm not thinking anywhere further than getting from the semifinals to the finals, and that is what I'm working on right now.
There is an injury concern for Nathan Allen, who was in the semi-final of the 400. Ran maybe a few strides and then didn't advance after that, just walked off the track. With that concern, as you said, you're going to have a meeting about it, but what are the contingencies in place for a possible replacement?
Well, as you know, we took eight male athletes here, and as you watch the trials, all 8 of them were this close to each other. I saw Taylor went out there around 44.97, and I think he finished 6th or 7th. So my concern is not really a great concern. I think whichever 4 that we put out there, Nathan is down a little bit now. We don't know because doctors have to assess him and find out if he's eligible to run. If not, we just have to just think ahead and then move forward. I have to be very, 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 very optimistic and very, very motivated. I have to lead from the front. I have to make them understand that we are out here for one purpose, and it's to represent Jamaica. And if you are a Jamaican and you want to represent us, come out here and give us your best. So I am trying to keep them together, mentally and physically.
The mixed relay team, I don't know if you've heard some of the criticisms. The Jamaican public can be harsh, and I know you coaches are used to that. But some were questioning the team and the selection and so on. I know you were a part of being in charge of that team as well, and they didn't make the podium as they did in 2019. Tell me how you respond to the criticisms about the team selection and whether we should have changed things for that mixed 4x4.
Well, let me say something. I am not going to say I'm the only patriotic Jamaica out here who wants to see us do well. But you also know that these athletes, that they're running for a contract or whatever because the country nor the government do not take care of them. So it was very difficult for us with the first 3 that who are running the 400 meter that you could ask them. You can't tell them that they are going to run. You have to ask them. And they all decided against it because they want to prepare for the open 400 meter. So when we go down the line, we had Javon Francis who were supposed to go out there and run. But he's telling us that his coach only prepared him for the mile relay. So we couldn't use him. He had a very hard workout the night before. So even if we were even going to try to convince him, there's no way he could go out there. So we have to then Gregory Prince, he came in the night before the event. So we couldn't have him going out there. So what we have to do, we have to go out of the box and get the 2 reserve that they put on. Plus the guy who finished 4th, that is on Bartley, to run. And you only have 1 change. That's what I was told, 1 change. So we only have 2 guys who were selected and 3 ladies who were selected. So all we could do was just make a change on the women, and that I'm open for the best.
Tajay Gayle obviously would have had his competition on Saturday. He said that it felt good for him to be sprinting, but from what you observed from the day of the competition, what made in terms of the final decision for him to finally compete?
Well, you're going to have to ask him that.
In terms of the assessment now, in terms of how is the injury, has it improved since the competition?
Well, it seems to be a whole lot better. He's sprinting much better now, and hopefully next week when he go over to Europe that he can start jumping again.
What's in terms of the time frame?
I don't know. Next week we'll start back training on Tuesday. And then we'll see what happens. We'll see if over the next 5 days or so, if it continues to get better.
You have a clear idea in terms of how the team will be looking for the heats?
Well, first of all, we're going to try and put a team out there that will qualify. We're to have a meeting in the next half an hour to decide on the final team for the heats. I think at least 3 of the relays we should make it through to the finals, and we're working hard to make sure that the one that we may have some issues with, we're able to put the best team out there.
Johan Blake had to withdraw from the 200. He was running with his paces. What did you see from him that does he look healthy enough to run that first heat?
But I'm not a doctor, but based on what I saw, it seemed to me that the problem that he was having is just maybe something that made him uncomfortable. He seems okay to me. I guess the medical staff will evaluate him before we decide whether or not he wants on the team.
In terms of the exchanges, we saw, Johan to Seville, some different combinations. Where do you feel that, depending on, team strength, that you may have the best opportunities?
What I'm sure about is that Seville won't be running in the heats. That's what I can say.
Oh, so probably Conroy Jones, those kind of...
Right. Yeah, all those other guys who were in the top 6 would be considered. But Seville won't be running in the heats.
In terms of the 4x4, obviously we have Chris Taylor in the 4 entry meter final, so he's gonna obviously out of it. But for the rest of the pool, especially introduction of Gregory Prince, where do you feel that you're going to have to strengthen?
We have basically lost three of our members who would have composed the team, and so it reduces the amount of persons that we have to choose from. And so it makes the job somewhat difficult. But I'm confident that we'll be able to put a team out there that will represent well.
And I know that was Javon Paul that I guess had a little nil. Where will be the availability? Because I guess the 4x4 men is the problem.
No, Javon Powell. No, as far as I know, there's no injury concerns with Javon Powell.